Testing, testing, testing. One, two, three. Testing, testing, testing. All right, my microphone is live. Hello, all. Welcome to Automation Talk. This is Monday, May 21st, 2018. And today we're going to talk about some automation. So, the last hot topic from our last automation talk was Google's I/O. Google's cross is slipping my mind. Google Duplex. That was the last hot topic. I looked up something today. It's a pretty long article. Well, it's not too long. With Google's I/O, a lot of questions based on ethics. How should I put this? Ethics has arisen. And a lot of questions asked, such as, hey, if Google somewhat perfects this type of technology, once it's out there and starts making phone calls, should the AI need to let the person on the other end of the phone let them know that, hey, I am an AI, then continue with the conversation? Or should it weave in the conversation that you're talking to an AI? Or should not saying at all? Now, I saw a few videos, and some people were saying, yes, you should know if you're talking to an AI, because if you don't, then you can feel deceived, or they will feel deceived. Some people were saying, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but does it matter really at all in the long run? Then some questions came about, okay, where will this box stop growing? Meaning, now, currently, today, I'm sure you receive those phone calls. Hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. And you know you're talking to a pre-recorded phone or a call. You ask it one question and it all falls apart. But now it's getting smarter. So how do you feel about that? These are the type of questions that have been brought up. Now I want to share my screen. I found an article. Let's see here. Let's do the good old friendly screen share so you can see everything that I'm looking at. The article is from Forbes, and it says, "Can democracy survive the future of automation?" by Theo Miller. And the article goes, let me read this caption to this photograph. Ian Bremmer warns the audience about the dangers of automation and an intelligence squared US debate. All right. Can we all agree that the Google Duplex demo was eerie? Yeah, in some ways. Yeah. Okay. A robot posing as a human being. Terminator type stuff. Schedule a reservation over the phone. We all knew artificial intelligence was coming, but it was breathtaking to hear software come to life. Before we go any further, let's get our terms straight. Automation and artificial intelligence are not the same. According to Dave Evans, automation is software that follows pre-programmed rules. Artificial intelligence is designed to simulate human thinking. Automation in this context refers to the impact of artificial intelligence on tasks that only humans can perform today. If you all seen the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix, that is a good example of artificial intelligence. Even if you're skeptical of Google Duplex in light of the current backlash, Alexa has made her way into millions of homes. Amazon and Google are proving the value of artificial intelligence to consumers. Apple still has a ways to go with Siri. Yes, they do. While Alexa won't take down the government, there was a recent debate about the impact of automation on democracy that's worth watching. Intelligence Squared US features debates about current events. Each episode puts forward a provocative motion like automation will crush democracy. Two teams of two debate the motion. There are polls conducted at the beginning and at the end of the debate. A team wins by persuading audience members to change their opinion. I like that. Ian Bremmer and Yascha Monk argued for the motion, insisting automation will crash democracy. Andrew Kane and Alina Polyakova argued against the motion. I think I may watch this. It's unclear whether the middle class can survive an AI revolution. That is a great question. It could leave very few jobs for the masses. In this scenario, the rich would end up with even more power. And without the middle class, it's hard to sustain a healthy democracy. Not scary enough for you? Tech pioneers like Elon Musk and Bill Gates have spoken out about the dangers of artificial intelligence, although Gates thinks Musk should take it down a notch. Musk is so concerned that he co-founded OpenAI, the nonprofit which he also chairs, researches artificial intelligence and make the technology safer and more accessible. Ian Bremmer, one of the debate's participants, recently published a best-selling book titled Us versus Them: The Failure of Globalism. Even though the motion didn't reference China, Bremmer invoked the country for good reason. Bremmer insists the U.S. could be at a disadvantage. Right now, it's either Silicon Valley or it's China. Those are the drivers of automation. Since the actual government drives innovation in China, they can leverage the technology and advance it. The United States government doesn't have that level of control over its technology sector. Moreover, based on the recent Facebook hearings, it's hard to imagine the U.S. government confronting the threat of automation in a meaningful way. Monk fears a consolidation of power. So I think that there's two different ways in which democracy might come under pressure. The first is that there's going to be enclaves of very rich people who actually own all of the productive material in society, which is the machines and robots and so on, being asked to give up more and more money in order to finance that nice universal basic income scheme. Throughout the debate, he derides universal basic income. Excuse me, let me start over. Let me start from right here. The first is that there's going to be enclaves of very rich people who actually own all the productive materials in society, which is the machines and robots and so on, being asked to give up more and more money in order to finance that nice universal basic income scheme. Throughout the debate, he derides universal basic income as a program that can easily be abused. Yes, it can. Monk thinks democracy is far-fetched in this new world. We've only ever had democracy in the time period from the French Revolution until today, when political leaders needed citizen armies. When we could rely on average citizens to stand up to defend the country against enemies abroad and to keep the peace at home. He believes the rich will protect themselves with their own robot armies and no longer need the middle class. Ooh. The counter arguments from Andrew King and Alina Polyakova were more optimistic. King is an entrepreneur and author. Polyakova is a fellow at the Brookings Institute. They believe regulation will provide the proper guardrails for innovation. That's why they reject all the doomsday scenarios that could result from automation. Okay. Polyakova also has faith in new industries. If you look at every technological revolution, we see far more jobs created or people transitioning into a different industry versus just mass unemployment, which is true. It's easy to hold the AI revolution up to the Industrial Revolution, but it's different. While I believe automation will create new jobs, the current rate of change is so unprecedented, it's hard to compare it to the past. Both sides of the debate agree regulation can thwart many of the potential threats of automation. It's unclear where the United States will find the political will to respond given its current legislative gridlock, and both agree its impact will challenge America's system of government. But it's still worth wondering, can democracy survive? All right, that right there is a good article. I think I may, if they have it on video, I may look at it. So let me stop sharing this. And we have another co-host in. Mike, how you doing today?
I'm good, brother, and you?
I'm well. I'm well. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I've been looking. I looked at some of the videos you sent with the Chinese testing the automated cars, and it was dry. It was pretty long. I only saw the one video, the first one, and I've been looking at videos about the moral or I say moral capabilities of automation. You know, hey, can we safeguard these measures, things like that? Based on the article I just read, what are your thoughts about
it? I guess I pointed this stuff out some months ago before, but Putin had basically said that whoever controls AI controls the world. So if you're rich and you're wealthy, are obtaining all of these capabilities to use AI against the lower class of people, then what's going to happen is the people who are undereducated and underskilled won't be able to keep up with the technological advancement. So there'll be a literacy problem and a skills gap, as well as a gap in wealth, right? In wealth transfer. So you're going to create just two binary classes, which is going to be upper class and lower class. And those who happen to be in the lower class won't be able to ever get out of it because they don't have the tool set or the skill set to actually compete and move their way up and have mobility.
It seemed what you just said sounds like so many movies that has come out in the past. One in particular, remember the movie with oh my goodness, Good Will Hunting. Damon. Oh my God, I forgot his name.
Damon Wayans.
Yeah, not Damon Wayans. Good Will Hunting. Goodness. Matt Damon. Oh my God. It was a movie where it was a movie where the workers were on Earth and the rich people were in the orbit of Earth, and they enjoyed all the spoils of life. They enjoyed all the riches. They enjoyed all the comforts. They just enjoyed everything. But the labor force was on Earth. and I guess they revolted and they crashed the party in space. But it sounds like that movie. What you just said sounds just like that movie where it's going to be the dividing line between the upper class and the lower class is just going to grow and grow and grow. Where is where the the schism, not the schism, but the schism is just going to engulf the middle class, and it's just going to be no more middle class. And like you said, the lower class are not going to have the tools or the resources to jump from, well, most of the lower class to jump from the lower class to the upper class. And that, I guess, is what makes people scared about the future. It's crazy, right? In my opinion.
Well, I would akin it more to be around the movie Maze Runner. In the movie Maze Runner, you had two separate classes of people. You had the people in the lower class who were very analog, and you had your upper class who were extremely digital and was hiding behind all of their technological advancements in order to survive.
Okay.
And you have that happening right now, right? So you look at the banking system, your financial institutions are using AI to reject loans and redline against minorities, more importantly, Black people. So when Black people apply for these mortgages, these mortgage lending institutions, they're getting denied, they're getting told no. They're getting charged higher interest rates than their white counterparts, using zip codes, using gender, using race, using age, using whatever, whether or not you have a GED versus a high school diploma, whether or not you went to a community college versus a Division I school. There's all types of metrics that are being used, leveraged in order to drive the AI and actually discriminate against people more. And they could just say, well, we didn't discriminate against anybody. It was the computer. It was the AI. The AI did it. We don't know anything about it. We don't know how to work it.
Oh my goodness. And that's amazing because before you said anything, I had no idea that this was the capability of this type of programming. I had no idea that it can be done. I mean, based on where you live, people. It's a known fact that people tend to live with other people that look like them, but that could be taken as something to say, okay, these people live in this area code or zip code. Okay, we're gonna discriminate based off that. That is the level of ingenuity that these people have, and it's slick. It's slick. I mean, you have to give it to them that they are thinking on this type of level that a lot of people are not thinking on it. You have to give it to them, but then again, they're only creating a divide. And how to fix that? How can people, if people listen to this now in real time and they say, well, yeah, I agree that in the future it's going to be a divide, what can I do now? And I'm pretty sure we went over the in the past, but what okay, let's say it was Mike and say, man, this is coming, what can I do to make sure I'm on the right side of that divide?
So there's two approaches to this, right? So you can get your skill set up and get your knowledge up by coming to these hangouts and actually doing your own reading to keep abreast with latest trends. The other half is that you can't do anything as an individual against an institution that is largely being defended by technology. So what we're going to have to do, if you're a part of that outside class, you're going to have to come up with your own institutions and start going back to the basics of public and community banking, community housing, community environments where the people who you live around are going to have to forge a pact together in order to survive. Because those institutions that are hiding behind the AI, hiding behind the technology, you know, they already have their workflows and their programming in place, and you're not going to be a part of that. You know, that target demographic that they're looking to cater to.
Okay, so have a community where you get a couple like-minded people that can actually build the type of programming that can target other like-minded people and draw them in. Do the, like you said, the community banking. If you have to do credit unions or anything, on, of course, own the buildings and the commercial property in your community, and expand from there. Incorporate people with the specific skill sets that can be beneficial to the community in the future, and work from there.
Not necessarily, right? So what I'm working on right now is a project called Ujima. So with Ujima, it's about community organized institutions that largely don't rely on you know, the Swift banking system, as well as the whole entire capitalist class of banking and institutions. So what we're trying to work on now is a framework. The framework's already done, but how do you expand on this, or how do you expand on this framework so that it's beneficial to the people that's largely within these predominantly Black and brown areas? You know, you put your money into a bank, but you don't have access to lower interest rate loans and things of that nature. So what's going to happen is you're going to have to rely on some kind of alternative currency in order to do business, and this is where cryptocurrencies come into play. Even from a lower class and underskilled standpoint, there's still going to be a need for some form of alternative currency that doesn't weigh you down, such as the dollar or such as the euro.
Okay.
In this attempt, and it's an attempt to do, you know, this community banking, community farming, just community business, as well as community living.
Okay. That sounds way better than what I tried to attempt to describe it as. So it's like a it's like a one-stop. How am I trying to say this? It's like everything you need is within that community.
It's within the community because the people who you're around, you're gonna have to put trust behind them, and that trust, people can't rip each other off and things of that nature, be malicious, because the larger institutions, your Bank of Americas, your other Wells Fargo's, those guys already, those institutions already put their AI into place, so you're already out of the running anyways. You're already out of the competition.
No, this sounds like, oh my God, this sounds like Chinese chess. You know, it sounds like, okay, this move that we're making it's not going to benefit us now, but it's going to benefit us 7-10 years in the future. You understand? Like the old saying goes, when's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When's the next time best time to plant a tree? Now. This is what it sounds like.
Right. You're going to need public banks in order to do business, because your larger banks are going to do business with you, and because you can't maintain a balance that's above a certain threshold that they require.
When you say public banks, like, you know, neighborhood banks, credit unions,
an actual public bank, no, an actual public bank where your tax dollars actually go into that institution, and the community has full control over it. Because right now, your tax dollars actually subsidize those larger banks, your Bank of Americas, your Wells Fargo's, et cetera, those multinational banks. Your tax dollars subsidize those institutions.
Okay.
So why not take the tax dollars and put it back into a public bank where the power goes back to the people and becomes more democratic? Because you have no democracy. Poor people don't have democracy in these AI-driven institutions.
Hold on. Say that one more time. Poor people don't have democracy in AI-driven institutions.
Right. So you're not a board member or shareholder of, these larger banks and these large institutions because they're not democratic. Whereas, the Federal Reserve is not a democratic institution, despite the fact that they control all the wealth in this country. So if you had a public institution, a public bank, a black public bank at that, black people could channel their money right into there and have full control over how the money is spent, where the money goes, how it's managed. We can vote. We can actually have votes based on, what the next project is going to be, what the next company we need to build, whatever project needs to be disseminated. And we can vote straight from our cell phones.
I don't know about you. I'm getting excited. This is. I'm getting excited about this because you're talking about sitting on boards, sitting on other people's boards, sitting on because the talk. Oh my God! This to me, it obliterates all the talking. Oh, we should do this. We should do this. Okay, well, we can do this if you just vote. If you just come to the meeting and sit on the board and listen. This is exciting. Now talking. No, how am I trying to say this? Saying what we can do in terms of what you just said is exciting, but when it comes down to it, coming to the meetings and voting, it can be boring. Go ahead.
Not just come to the meetings, but you'll have a Google Hangout just like this, and you'll have 2,000, 10,000 people sitting in there, and all thing they got to do is push, one on their keypad or click the vote button, yay or nay. Or now you're talking about putting the power back into the people's hands.
Oh well, in that case, that's even more. That's even more malleable because oh my God, my mind is going. My mind is trying to say three things, and I'm thinking the long arm. Well, how far this can go, how far these simple steps, how far this can be taken, because this is common knowledge among people that are empowered. Like this is common knowledge among people that are organized. Okay, this is what you do. This is just what you do. Period. I mean, look at an ant colony. This is just what we do. It's simple. It's not rocket science. It's there. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just copy what other people are doing. Nature. This is what nature does. What are the animals that build dams? But that's what they do. Yeah, beavers. This is what they do. Okay, you get that law, we get that. You get that law. Okay, put that. Okay, we good. But it's so hard, like you say, when you have a people that are historic in this country, historically oppressed or disenfranchised, or think if you just have the appearance, then you made it. It gets hard to try to get. I'm not saying everybody on the same page because you don't need everybody, but it takes time just to get the required number of people to on the same page in order just to go forward. That's I guess is how I'm trying to say it. But what you're saying is, my God, just that's how the game goes. That's how the maneuvers go. That's how it goes. This is how it goes. Sitting on people's boards, you have banking establishments, then you branch out to other like-minded communities. Then you two work together. You're strength in numbers. Then you slowly creep out to others. Oh my God, hey,
that's That's exactly what we're working on right now, and you could be a part of the project if you want to. They're expanding all the way out. They just came from Detroit about 2 weeks ago, coming to Chicago pretty soon, and LA. LA was next. LA will be next, and then Baltimore. So right now they're just studying different business models, different institutional models that's going to work, because you can't just go with one thing. You got to kind of test out multiple variations of other aspects, depending on where people live, because every environment is not always going to be the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I don't mind. I don't mind being a part of. I don't mind helping out at all. Now,
Mm-hmm.
in the article, it says it broke down the difference between automation and AI. It said automation goes by a preset. Um, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Preset rules, I guess you can say. But go ahead.
There's an algorithm.
Yes, preset.
There's an algorithm that goes in. There's an algorithm that goes into automation, so it only does one thing multiple times. Whereas in AI, AI is very deep learning. There's a deep learning perspective behind AI, to replace the human. So it makes human decisions without actually having a human being behind the wheel.
Okay. Human decisions without a human being behind the wheel.
Mm-hmm. So I gave the example about the applying for a mortgage. There's a human decision being made to deny you without a human being even interacting behind the keyboard.
Exactly. That says so much.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know where to begin, because it says, hey, this AI is learning from us. It's learning our ways, so it can go out and continue our ways without us even having to do it. And like you said, we can just blame it on the AI and say, oh, we don't know. It just does that. And now,
realistically, I was just going to say, realistically, they don't know, right? They didn't design it. All they know is that it does what it does, and that's it. And if we want to fix it, I don't know how to fix it, because that's just the way it is. Now, you can take it one step further. What happens when you have like those robots we were looking at last week for Boston Dynamics, and that thing has a M4 rifle?
no.
Well, I don't know why it shot. It just fired off for 20 rounds. I don't know why it did that.
And the people that say, oh, if we just love each other, love ain't gonna get it, buddy. Love not gonna, love and free hugs is not gonna get it, buddy. It's you need actionable program steps. And oh my God, it just really curdles my blood when I hear people go on this intangible rant of, well, if we can just get in and just hug them really tight and show them that we love our enemy, that we love each other, that we just love humankind. There's only one race on the planet, it's the human race. And you have these people releasing these shoes with human race on the foot, and people being suckered into this, and next thing you know, they out of job, and the AI is telling them they can't get a job no more. Well, what you gonna do? Love the AI? You can't do that.
Right. You watched the Google event where they were the hairdresser appointment was made.
Yeah.
Well, that's as simple as it's going to be. I wanted to go buy that car. Well, it told me I can't drive the car. Why? Well, it didn't like my zip code that I was programmed into it. That was programmed into it. So you have these kind of variations where AI can go wrong, and AI can be very beneficial. It could be beneficial in the medical industry, but then again, you could have medical malpractice. AI decides to cut surgically somewhere where it probably doesn't need to cut. Who's at fault then? Who's liable then?
That's a good question. Oh my god! Because when I go out in public, I just look at people, and I just observe, not necessarily what they say, but just look, because what they say and what they actually do is two different things. Just look, and I look at a lot of black people. A lot of black people are overweight. When I say overweight, I'm talking about noticeably overweight, not per the BMI index, I'm 5 pounds overweight. No, noticeably overweight. And yes, and I look and I think to myself, what is this? Is this a symptom of just having everything, just thinking, just overindulging on overindulging on things? And you have a lot of black people that are limping because they're overweight. You know that all the health, the whole gamut of health reasons of overweight, they suffer. We suffer from. So we have to go under the knife just to fix a little something. Oh, the AI cut here. Now we have to do more surgery. Oh, we took these pills. We didn't know these pills had this effect. Oh, so it's just over and over. The It's a slippery slope.
And that's why we're going to have to try to figure out a way to survive, because you're not going to be able to keep up with the millionaires, the billionaires. It's just impossible. The Warren Buffetts who can buy his AI, military and farm that can protect him, he doesn't need a pilot. He just gets on a plane and it just takes him across the world, or takes him up to Mars where he wants to go. We don't have those capabilities. And if we don't start cultivating our sons and making sure that they get the right knowledge and put it into them, and grooming them in a way that allows them to be free thinkers, so that they can design the next counter AI product that takes down big grids of AI militaries and things of that nature, and AI law enforcement. All of these things are going to come into play, and if you don't have some kind of countermeasure to it, whether it's public banking or other public institutions, you're going to die. And I hate to say it like that. You're going to die.
No, please don't be PC. You're going to die, because one thing the military taught me, you got to have tough skin, and if you can't take the straight truth, hey, this is not for you. You're gonna die, buddy. You gonna die, and don't be mad, or don't kill the messenger who says, "Hey, if you don't do this, you're gonna die." Ask the messenger. Okay, go ahead.
Now, I was just gonna say that, because when you have a community of people that have to rely on each other, everybody's gonna have a skill set. Whether you know cryptocurrencies, whether you can knit and sew and crochet, or you can be a mechanic, you can work on old engines. Everybody's gonna have some kind of skill set where they can rely on each other. And if you don't have anything to bring to the table, it's not just the AI. It's not just, there's an echo in the background. It's not just the AI that you're gonna have to worry about. It's gonna be the people that you live around that's gonna decide whether or not you need to really be here.
Can you still hear the echo?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, how can I? Did it just start, or it's been there?
It's been there.
Okay, let's see. Let me unplug it. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, 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 hello.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why it does that. Can you still hear the echo?
No.
Okay. Uh, All right.
Are you on Google Chrome?
Right now I am. I was on Internet Explorer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Uh, is Internet Explorer that bad?
Well, it's not directly compatible with Hangouts because Chrome is designed for Hangouts.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, okay. The Chinese. Oh, you know what? I have to learn to play. I know how to play chess. I don't. I don't. I'm not superior at it at all. But I want. I need to learn how to play Chinese checkers and the thought process behind it, because when we talk, uh, even though it's common sense that throughout millennia this was what you do, this is how you build your infrastructure. I guess to us as a whole, obviously, little pockets know this. It's not common knowledge, and it's like, oh, this is a huge task to take on, which it's not really. It's no, it's simple.
Well, it's not that simple. I'm still hearing the echo.
Oh man,
You have speakers or something?
everything is muted. Let me unplug and plug again.